Wheat School on RealAgriculture.com is brought to you by Syngenta Canada, Alberta Wheat Commission, and C&M Seeds.
Peter Johnson at Wheat Pete, RealAgriculture.com, and we are going to talk tillers because, man, it drives me absolutely insane. I go to Western Canada and everybody hates tillers. Tillers, by the way, if you didn't know, are just a weed and should be done away with. Yeah, well, get over it. In corn, we actually have bred the tillers out. That's why we don't get tillers. If you go back to the original corn, teosinte, it tillered just like wheat. In wheat, we have not, after 10,000 years of breeding the silage crop, we still have tillers, and everybody hates them because it's those late tillers that give us the fusarium. So what can we do to manage the tillers? Immediately, I know what you're saying, it's increased seeding rate. Oh, for crying out loud, really? You can't stop wheat from tillering. It's made to do that. And if you try to stop it from tillering, I want you to think about this. You all look at tillers in plants per square feet, or heads in plants per square feet. How many do you want in a square foot in Western Canada? Yeah, probably 60 in a square foot, heads. Maybe 65. Maximum is 70. If you have more than 70 heads per square foot, almost for sure that wheat's going to lodge. We want to get to 60 heads per square foot. How many seeds per square foot do you actually have to seed, for crying out loud? Well, at least 70 because there's some mortality, maybe 80 because the more you put in there, the more mortality. What do you think's going to happen? Well, number one, the silly stuff's still going to tiller, and number two, you got so many plants there, it's going to go whoop, and then as soon as it starts to get a little bit of wind, it's going to go whoop, and you're all going to whine at me. We have to find a better way to manage tillers. So with tillers, it really comes down to two things. We have to have the right seeding rate. I don't argue with that, but if I want 60 heads per square foot, that's probably 30 live plants per square foot. You might push it to 35, but at 30 main plants per square foot, that's one main head, one tiller. And that's 2 heads per plant, that's 60 heads per square foot. That's pretty sweet. After that, how do we manage tillers? Well, you know, the number one thing that everybody does wrong is you all want to put 100% of your nitrogen on either in the fall or before you plant. You want to put it all down with the seeder because you're putting mid-row banders in there. That plant's got so much nitrogen, what do you expect it to do? If it's got good moisture, it's just going to tiller like crazy. And then it's going to have to slough a whole bunch off to get down to just 60 heads per square foot. If you want to do a better job, cut back on that early nitrogen, and let's try to look at split applying nitrogen with that second application after it's done tillering so that we don't have that massive split or that massive push on early tillers. Some really interesting work by Steve Larocque that I just looked at this morning where he's actually side dressing nitrogen between his 12-inch rows, skip row nitrogen. He's getting a nice yield boost and we can manage tillers. The only other thing you can do from a tiller management standpoint is manipulator. So new product, looks like we're going to finally have it, growth regulator, cool product, because if you spray it at the right stage, growth stage 30, 31, it will actually take away the apical dominance and it will allow some tillers to catch up, even that heading date out, so you don't have so much trouble with fusarium. And once you get 2 or 3 tillers there, or 1 or 2 tillers there that are all the same size as the main head, you've got enough draw that those late tillers aren't nearly as likely to come. So there you have it. Tillers are not a bad thing. You can't get away from them, so quit trying to wipe them out with seeding rate. It's just going to make you go broke. You're going to have lodged wheat. Figure it out. We can do it with much better nitrogen management, maybe a growth regulator, and picking a reasonable seeding rate. Peter Johnson at Wheat Pete, RealAgriculture.com. Get this wheat crop right.